Okay, so we are going to talk about tail with transitive pairs. We actually already did tail before. We did this in Japanese 102, and tail is almost like English ing. Okay. In many cases, tail means ing. So, for example, 寿司を食べています。寿司を食べています。The difference is 寿司を食べます is just action. But if you say 寿司を食べています、寿司を食べています、which means progressive. So I am eating sushi. So it talks about the something is ongoing, the action in progress. So it's almost like ing. With a small set of verbs, such as, so the examples we use in the textbook is like 結婚している or 勤めている or 住んでいる And these verbs are called instantaneous verbs. So something happens instantaneously. So like 結婚している、結婚する happens just the moment when you either sign on the piece of document or you take a vow at the altar, or that's something like happens to Japanese mind at least. It's an instantaneous action. 勤めている is to work, but it's almost like to get employed. So it also happens like instantaneously. If you get hired, that's 勤めている. When ている is used with those instantaneous verbs, like 結婚している、勤めている、住んでいる, instead of ing, progressive, that's almost like English perfective. I have done something. So 結婚している it doesn't mean I'm marrying. Okay. It's almost like I got married. I have done the marrying. 勤めている also doesn't mean I'm being employed. It's like I have been hired, kind of things. Okay. So we did this distinction in chapter 7, and the same thing. We're gonna review the same thing again. Oh, before I forget. 起きる is to wake up, and this is also instantaneous. So たけしさんは起きています。Which means I am not waking up. Which doesn't mean I am waking up. It means it means I woke up. So it's very difficult to translate in English, but it doesn't mean the waking up is happening slowly. It means it's already happened, and you are in the state of the consequence of the action. Because of waking up, you're awake. Okay. So what does it have to do with transitive pairs? So the same distinction appears with the different members of transitive pair. If ている is used with a transitive version of transitive pair, that becomes progressive. So 開ける is to open, but transitive pair. So transitive verb. So you have to have both subject and verb. When you say 開けている, that becomes progressive. So the action is happening, still happening. If you use aku, which is intransitive version of the to open, that becomes 開いている. That is the resultative. So action has already taken place. Okay. So in other words, if you use with transitive verb, still ongoing. So if you use ている with the transitive version, action is still ongoing. It hasn't completed yet. If ている used with the intransitive version, has already happened. The action already happened, and you're in a state where the action caused you to be. So, in other words, is the door open with 開けている? Not yet. It's opening slowly, but it's not open yet. But if you're 開いている, if you hear 開いている, is the door open? Yes, the door is already open, and you see it because action has already taken place. Okay, more sentences, more examples. たけしさんがドアを壊している. たけしさんがドアを壊している. Is the door broken? No, it's still happening. It's progressive. Since it's transitive verb, it's progressive. ドアが壊れている. ドアが壊れている. Is door broken? Yes, it's already broken because it's intransitive, so interpretation of ている is resultative. たけしさんが窓を開けている. It's progressive. Door is not open yet. The window is not open yet. 窓が開いている. The window is already open. たけしさんが水を沸かしている. Is the water boiled? Not yet. It's still boiling. 水が沸いている. It's already boiled. Okay, so it's extremely difficult without having a good command of transitive pair because since we just talked about this transitive intransitive pairs, it's completely arbitrary, right? So you have to memorize like these two pairs as independent verbs. There's no way to tell which one is which. You just have to know 開ける is intransitive, 開く is 開ける is transitive, 開く is intransitive. You just have to memorize two as separate items. The te form, as you know, it sounds almost the same once the verbs become te form. So these are the te form of these verbs. Okay. The difference is even more subtle. 開けて、開いて、閉めて、閉まって、入れて、入って、出し、this is 出して、has to be 出して、出て、つけて、ついて、消して、消えて、壊して、壊れて、汚して、汚れて、落として、落ちて、沸かして、沸いて。So the difference is very subtle, but the meaning is very different. All of these, as we talked, if it's used with ている, these are all progressive. In other words, action haven't taken place yet. But intransitive pairs, intransitive versions are used with Heiru, they're all resultative. So action already took place. Okay, so let's do a little bit practice. So let me know if action is still in progress or it's already done. 開けている It was progressive. 閉まっている It was resultative. 入れている That's progressive. Let me fix this. 出している That's progressive. ついている It was resultative. 消している Progressive. 壊れている Intransitive. So resultative. 汚れている That was resultative. 落としている Progressive. 湧いている Resultative. So you hear like almost no difference between two. So you just have to get used to the difference. Okay. That's it for Teiru.